Hello, class 12th student. Today I'm going to start chapter 11. Topic is comparative development experience of India and its neighbors. This is the last chapter of your book Indian Economic Development. Okay? And in this way this book is going to complete. Now, the development path of India, Pakistan and China. So, actually, we are going to understand how all these three economy has started, okay, their journey. So here we can see that all the three countries started their development part at the same time. Same time means their freedom from the British rule is nearby the year. Like in Pakistan got India and Pakistan got its independent in 1947 and uh, Peoples of Republic of China in 1949. Okay, so in this way India and Pakistan uh, got their independence, okay, nearby the same day, and China in 1948. So this is the common thing. Second thing, all the three countries has started planning their development strategy in similar way. यानी कि we are going to discuss that कि all the economy want to make their economy as a developed economy. So for that they accepted planning. Okay, so India announced its 5-year plan in 1951. On the other hand, Pakistan in 1956 and in China 1953. So this is important for your 1 marks question. Okay, so all the three economy decided to accept planning commission या planned way. Okay, and first 5-year plan in India was in 1951, in Pakistan 1956 and in China 1953. Okay, now India Pakistan both adopted a similar strategy such as creating a large public sector and raising public expenditure on the social development. यानी कि we had given leading role to public sector and private sector is just for the subsistence या secondary. ठीक है. Now both India and Pakistan has adopted mixed economy. Okay, so India and Pakistan adopted mixed economy. On the other hand, China command economy. Sorry. Now till 1988 all the three countries had similar growth rate and per capita income. So these are the similarity that you are learning from where all these three countries started their journey of development. Okay, next thing, economic reform were implemented in China in 1978, in Pakistan 1988 and in India 1991. That is LPG, liberalization, privatization and globalization. Okay, so new economic reform in China 1978, Pakistan 1988 and India 1991. Okay, now we are going to learn this development strategy of each country individually. So first we start with the China. Okay, so after establishment of the People's Republic of China, this is the complete name, under one party rule, all the critical sector of the economy, enterprise and land owned and operated by the individual were brought under the government control. Okay, in this way it become what? Command economy. Okay, next thing is the Great Leap Forward program. Okay, this campaign is started in 1958. It is related to what? It is related to industrialization. Okay, the industrialization. Okay, so what is its strategy? Under this program people were encouraged to set up industries in their backward. The GLF, it is very important for your board examination. GLF, its full form is the Great Leap Forward campaign. Okay, it is started in 1951. Its aim is what? Massive industrialization in the country, and for that it encourages people that they started to do the production in their backward, every and each household. Okay, next is 1965. Mao Li Tung introduced the Great Proletarian Culture Revolution, under which students and professionals were sent to work and learn from the countryside, yani ki rural area. Okay, now in rural area, commune system was started, under which people collectively cultivate land. So individual in place of individual farming, they started to do commune system farming. Okay, now next is reform were introduced in China in phases. Okay, in initial phase, reforms were initiated first of all in agriculture, then in foreign trade, and then in investment sector. In the latter on in industrial sector. Okay. Now the reforms process also involved dual pricing. Okay, this means fixing the price in two ways. Farmer and industrial unit were required to buy and sell fixed quantity of raw material and product on the basis of price fixed by the government. Okay, yani ki for the farmers and industries, price is fixed by government. Okay, rest of the purchase are sold and purchased at market price, yani ki for household sector and for other whatever price is decided by the market force, that they are going to purchase at that price. Next is SAGE, special economic zone, were set up. SAGE is the geographical region that has economic law different from the country's typical economic law. Usually the goal is to increase foreign investment. So SAGE are established so that investor will be attracted and they will come and do the investment. Okay. Now we are going to learn about the Pakistan. So Pakistan followed the mixed economy, means coexistence of public and private, but public is going to be give more importance in compared to private sector. Pakistan introduced tariff protection for the manufacturing of consumer good, and together with the direct import and control of competitive imports. Next is the introduction of green revolution and increase in the public investment in infrastructure in selected area lead to a rise in the production of food grain. Now in 1970, capital goods industry were nationalized. So you have to remember this data. Now in 1988, structural reform were implemented. Major thrust areas were denationalized and encourages to private sector. So we come to know कि new economic policy were introduced in 1988. Now private sectors are given leading role in place of government sector. Pakistan also received financial support from the Western nation and remittance from the immigrant to the middle countries. This helped the country in stimulating economic growth. Now it's time to understand our strategy for growth. So we are going to discuss about India. After independence, India has adopted mixed economy. Okay, mixed economy means existence of both public and private sector. Okay, to achieve rapid economic growth, planned development economy was introduced. Yani ki we adopted 5-year planning. Now, economic development strategy after independence. Already we had learned in detail in the second chapter. Here is just like a revision. Okay, both public and private sector were allowed to carry business activity. Public sector was allowed activity like coal, mining, steel, power, road, etc. Private sector was allowed to establish industries subjected to control and regulated in the form of law. Yani ki we are going to discuss about license policy. Okay, public sector was given major push-up by the government. Maximum revenue in this sector was invested in, which increased from 81.9 crore in the first 5-year plan. Now it is increased to 34,206 crore in 9th 5-year plan. Public sector was given importance in order to eliminate poverty, unemployment. Okay. Now public sector contribute to the industrialization of the economy. It also helped Indian economy to achieve a considerable degree of self-sufficiency. Okay, so this is all about the India. Now we are going to do the comparative study of India, Pakistan and China. So first topic is demographic indicator. On the basis of demographic indicator, we are going to make the compare all these three countries. So population of Pakistan is very small and account for the roughly about 1/10 of the China and India. So remember this data, student. Now, China is the largest nation geographically among the three. Its density is lowest. So remember which density is lowest? The China density is the lowest. Population growth is highest in Pakistan. So remember, and it is followed by India and China. So first is Pakistan, second is India and third is China. One child norm which was introduced in China in late 1970s is the major reason for the low population growth. But this major lead to a decline in the sex ratio, that is the proportion of the females per thousand male. Now the sex ratio is low and biased against the female in all the three countries. Okay. There is the strong son preference prevailing in all the three countries. The fertility rate is low in China and very high in Pakistan. Urbanization is high in both China and Pakistan, with India having 28%. Okay. Now next point is gross domestic product. So China has the second largest GDP of 10.1 trillion in 2013. Okay. On the other hand, India and Pakistan are, India is 4.2 trillion and Pakistan is 0.47 trillion. Okay. On this path of development, China's average growth rate is 9.5, while is India and Pakistan is 5.8 and 4.1 respectively. In China, the year 2011, with the 37% of its workforce engaged in agriculture, it contribute to GDP in 9%, while in India and Pakistan it is 19 and 21%. In India, about 56% are engaged in agriculture, while in Pakistan it is 45%. Now in China, manufacturing contribution the highest to GDP at 47%, whereas in India and Pakistan, it is the service sector which contributes more than 50%. So yani in China, which sector is having main role? Manufacturing. And India and Pakistan, service sector. Next, now the China has followed the classical development pattern of the gradual shift from the agriculture to manufacturing. Okay, India and Pakistan shift has been directly from agriculture to service sector. Okay, in India, in 1980, India, China and Pakistan employed 17, 12 and 27% of its workforce in the service sector respectively. In 2011, it reached the level of 25, 33 and 35% respectively. China's growth is mainly contributed by the manufacturing sector. In India and Pakistan, main is service sector. Now next is human capital indicator. So in most areas of human development, China has performed better than India and Pakistan. Why? Because its GDP is more and GDP rate is also more. This is true for many indicators like per capita, GDP, proportion of population below the poverty line, health indicators such as mortality rate, access to sanitation, literacy, life expectancy, malnutrition, etc. So in all these fields, which is better? China is better. Pakistan is ahead of India in reducing proportion of people below the poverty line, and also its performance in the transferring labor force from the agriculture sector to industrial sector, and access to water is the better than India. So Pakistan is also better to India in these field because it is having less population, and land is also fertile, okay, and Pakistan is a rich country if you talk about on the basis of natural resources, okay. Contrary to it, India is ahead of Pakistan in is education sector and providing health service. So if you talk about India, so it is having a better condition in educational and health sector. Now India and Pakistan ahead of China in providing improved water source, okay. Conclusion. So ultimately what we come to know, India. So India performed moderate as is clear from a majority of its people still depend upon agriculture. Infrastructure is lacking in many parts of the country. It is yet to raise the level of living of more than 22% of the population that lives below the poverty line. So it clear कि India's developed is moderate, यानी कि it is not too high, not too low. Now it's time to talk about the Pakistan. So Pakistan has performed poorly. The reason for the slowdown of the growth and re-emergence of the poverty in Pakistan are, so this is very important for your board examination. Political instability, volatile performance of agriculture sector, over dependence on remittance, growing dependence on foreign loan on the one hand, and increasing difficulty in the paying back the loan of the other country. So these are the reason, because of that Pakistan growth rate is now decreasing, and its growth is slowed down. Now China has performed comparatively the best, as it is clear from these points. China's success is raising the level of growth along with the elevation of the poverty. China, it used the market mechanisms to create additional social and economical opportunity without political commitment. By retaining collective ownership of the land and allowing individual to collective land, China has ensured social security. Public intervention in providing social infrastructure had brought about positive result in human development in China. Thank you. So I think you are able to understand about India, China and Pakistan development story. So China is better in compared to India and Pakistan overall, we can say, and India have to work hard. Pakistan is also focused on social issues more. If you talk about the India, so India have to give more importance to private sector. It have to control its population growth, and it have to focus on manufacturing sector, so that we are able to do more better. Okay, thank you students.